everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place and welcome back to Bookmas. I'm feeling a little sad today as this is the last Bookmas video I'm filming. This may not be the last video you see in Bookmas, but I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that has watched it so far. It has been so much bigger than last year. So thank you. Now today is another highly requested video and it is books that I don't like. I have tried with all these books. Some of them I have managed to finish but still hated. And I just want to say before I start this video, just because I don't like these books, it doesn't mean that you can't like them. I'm not saying that other people can't enjoy them. I know these videos can be really quite controversial and I have chosen some pretty big authors, so don't hate me. The first book is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I loved the first two in this series. When I read the first two books, I would go as far to say as they were up there with one of my favourite series of all time. I hated this book. I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 at a push. It seemed like Sarah was on a deadline and she was rushing to meet it. Now, I know a lot of authors do that, obviously, but it shouldn't be obvious in the book. I mean, the whole series has been leading up to this massive battle right at the end of the book. And the battle and the ending was over in less than 100 pages. There were sex scenes on every other page, which I found got really tedious. I really didn't care about them having sex. I just wanted to know what was happening, who was going to die. And talking about deaths, that was another annoying part of this book. I wanted deaths. When there's this almighty battle, you expect people to die. And no one did. And then right at the end, when a major character died, they somehow magically came back to life. And by that point, I just wanted to throw this book across the room. It really frustrated me. Mainly because I know how well Sarah can write and how amazing her storytelling is. And this just didn't live up to it. But saying that, my husband loved it, so maybe I was the only one with issues with this book. Now, I promise this isn't a Sarah J. Maas hate video, but this is from another series of hers, and it is Crown of Midnight. Not specifically this book, but the Throne of Glass series in general. I actually loved the first three, and I actually have all the books because I really enjoyed the series and I really wanted to like it. So I tried so many times with the fourth and fifth book in this series, and I just hated it. I felt like there was too much going on. Again, it just felt a bit rushed. Some of it was getting a bit silly, and again, she overdid it with the sex scenes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the sex scenes that she writes are amazing in all of her books, but if I wanted to read erotic fiction, I would have picked up something like 50 Shades. Again, the world building in this is fantastic. I really loved the characters. Kale was one of my favourite characters of all time. After the fourth book, I just got really fed up and bored. Again, I know this is a really controversial opinion because so many of you love this series. The next book is another controversial one, and I feel like I will probably get so much hate for this. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Now, I can't say I hate this book because I've never made it through the first few pages because I just get so bored. It's so strange because I have never not loved a Patrick Ness book that I've read. Every single book of his I have fallen in love with, but this series I just can't connect with. I really don't like the layout of the book. As I've said before, I struggle with quite long books, so I need to really connect to a book straight away for me to continue reading. And it's such a shame because obviously I love him. He is actually one of my favourite authors. If any of you have read this series and struggled getting into the first few pages but loved it after, please let me know because I will give it another go if I think that it's worth reading. I'm sorry, Patrick Ness, I still love you. The next book is The 100 by Cass Morgan. Now, I actually met Cass last year at Yelp. She was amazing, and I'd seen The 100 show, but I hadn't read the books, so I picked all three of them up thinking, oh, I'll love them. No, I won't. I don't know if it's because I watched the series first, but again, I could not connect with it at all. This is a really short book, and the font is really easy to read, which are usually my favourite kinds of books, but this one, it was just boring. I think because there is so much going on in the TV show, and the book was just the complete opposite. I really tried with this book a few times and I just didn't like it. I'm not sure if it's because I've never read one of her books before, so maybe it's just her writing style that I don't like, because obviously there are a few authors who I just don't like their writing style. It doesn't mean that they're bad writers, it just means that their books just aren't for me. I think this may be one of those. And the last one is a book that I just had to try this year because of all the hype surrounding it, and it was Stephen King's It. Let me tell you why I'm so sad about this. I hated the film and I hated the book. Hating the film was very controversial indeed. I thought it was boring, it was long, nothing really happened for much of it. It's pretty much the same with the book. It is far too long with not enough going on. I know that he likes to build tension and atmosphere and drama, but it just bored me. I felt like it was one of those books that you take home at A-level for homework and you just think, ugh, what am I reading right now? And it's so unlike me because I love Stephen King. Horror is possibly my favourite genre. I think one of the reasons I like horror is that it's so compact, it's so concise, so much happens so quickly, it's usually over very fast. They are usually the reasons why I love horror books so much. And this book is just the complete opposite of that. Again, there were a few jumpy moments up to the part that I read, just like in the film, a few jumpy moments, but nowhere near worthy of the hype. That's another thing, when books are hyped up, you kind of have a much higher expectation of what the book's going to be like, and this and the film were both really hyped and I just do not think they were worthy of it. Let me know in the comments below what you've read this year that just hasn't reached your expectations. I would love to know because I think talking about books that we don't like is just as important as talking about ones that we do like. Discussion in books is everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.